Hey folks, how's it going? Realm Gaming here, back with another video. As you guys are probably aware from my last video, we're doing a Keystone Hero Challenge on 3 different healing classes. So this is going to be on my Mistweaver Monk, Holy Paladin, and Discipline Priest. This video is going to focus a little bit more on the Discipline Priest rather than the other 2 healing specs, mainly because my Discipline Priest was the furthest behind in terms of gear. I believe the last video we're sitting around 415 to 420 item level, and now we've caught up a bit and we're sitting at around the 430 item level mark. I unfortunately do not have any set pieces currently on this toon. That's one place I'm really struggling and lacking in. If you guys are aware, the 2 set piece will make my penance and smite throughput be increased by 20%, and smite will also increase the duration of one of my active atonements by 2 seconds. So moving forward, I'm not exactly sure how that works. For example, does it increase the lowest remaining atonement by 2 seconds, or does it just pick any random atonement and increase it by 2 seconds? So if you're aware of exactly how that works, please feel free to put it in the comments below. I'd really like to know. And then of course, the 4 set smite will hit an additional time during our Shadow Covenant, which will help further increase our atonement timer by 2 more seconds. So we'll be getting 4 seconds of extension per smite during our Shadow Covenant. And it also seems, by looking at a lot of different Disc Priest guides, we're going to be playing a lot around Mindbender, trying to get those smites out as often as possible to increase Mindbender's uptime. We're also able to complete a Superbloom event on this toon, so after about 5 or 10 minutes of the event, we got a juicy 447 ring from the quest reward, which was about a 40% upgrade from what we previously had. We also had a few pieces that were really bringing my overall item level down in this character, so I decided to craft some gear as I already had a bunch of Whelpling crests saved up. So I thought it would probably be a good idea to put some of those to use. So we were able to craft some feet, gloves, and a headpiece, and basically what we did is we just took our Whelpling crest and we turned them into enchanted Whelpling crest through the crafting system. From there, we were able to select a few blue pieces of gear, and thankfully the blue pieces do not require any sort of spark to craft them, so that's why I ended up going this route, is because I knew I'd be able to easily just take the crest I already had and turn them into a quick 434 piece of gear in those straggling slots. Outside of that, we pretty much just spammed LFR and Mythic Plus dungeons this week, so currently we're sitting in between the 7 and 8 range. I think I could probably push into the 10 range on this guy, considering I'm only 10 item level below my mark on the Holy Paladin and Mistweaver Monk, which are in the 13 to 14 key range. So I plan to get a few keys in hopefully next week that are at least above the 10 key range. As this was my first week healing on Discipline Priest, I had absolutely no clue how to handle Afflicted in my first dungeon, so I spent probably the first 5 minutes trying to heal damage and trying to Google how the heck you handle Afflicted as a Discipline Priest. I had no clue that you had to go into Dispel Magic and Improved Purify to be able to successfully cleanse an Afflicted mob. So let's just say this first dungeon here was a little rough. And I couldn't really tell, but it looked like my atonements were also healing the afflicted mobs. I need to test that out a little bit more. I couldn't tell if my atonement was actually taking out the afflicted mobs or if I was just getting some help from the rest of my group later in the dungeon. But it looked like to me that atonement healing was affecting the mobs. Outside of that though, I think the Disc Priest is in a pretty good spot. We got the world boss in before our reset. Our vault is also looking pretty good. We have 2 of the 3 Mythic Plus slots completed, and I think we have 1 raid slot complete with LFR. So I pretty much accomplished everything that I'd set out for this week on the Discipline Priest. So currently I'm working on the Holy Paladin and Mistweaver Monk to try and get their vaults squared away before the reset. So hopefully more of an update on those guys in the next few days. Alright guys, so to finish up the video here, we're sitting at 529 on our Mythic Plus rating. We have a really long ways to go. We've completed an 8, 5, 7, and 8 on Tyrannical Week, and on Fortified Week, we've completed only a 2 Dark Heart Thicket. So this week has been more or less trying to round out my gear. I also don't have my tier sets in place. As you can see here, I only have 1 item towards my tier set. So we're trying to work on that at the moment. So I think that's going to be sort of the last major thing I have to complete on this guy. Then outside of that, I can just gradually increase my item level and just kind of go from there, kind of gradually work up my Mythic Plus rating. That being said, guys, that's currently where we're at. If you enjoyed the video, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel to keep up with the rest of the challenge. And thanks for watching. We'll see you all in the next one.